With trimester 1, fatigue comes first. Check in with your client each day. Each workout might be different depending on how they're feeling. So what you want to focus on is the rate of perceived exertion. How they're feeling, how stressful is this on their body to them, not your standard pace. You're going to make sure that you're confidently cueing the abdominal draw-in maneuver, which you've now learnt, as well as your pelvic floor activations, and I'd like you to start with that at the beginning of every session as it's super crucial. The other thing you need to make sure is that you're maintaining their exercise and their goals, but you're not looking to push it and do personal bests. These are just a couple of stats to consider. More than 95% of miscarriages occur in the first 12 to 14 weeks of a pregnancy in New Zealand. Okay, so just be mindful of that when you're training. IVF is actually taxing and quite expensive, so if you do know that IVF was potentially used for the pregnancy, just be mindful of it and your choice of words. Miscarriages affect approximately 1 in 4 women in New Zealand, so it's a big number. Again, just be really mindful of these things. If someone turns up and says, "Hey, I'm pregnant, super stoked, let's start training," just be mindful of it. 70 to 80% of all women have nausea or vomiting. So when you're in the studio and you're training, maybe if you're out in a park, just be close to a toilet facility or have water on hand. A couple of things to avoid during this trimester. Abdominal traumas such as tennis or hockey. If that's not really an issue, just think about ball sports if you're out in the fields. Hot yoga and saunas. So again, it's just making sure the body doesn't overheat here, so be mindful of that. And any exercise that limits oxygen or holding their breath, for example, in a lift. So now let's go through a bit of a program, what that might look like for you training a woman in trimester 1. You want to start, as we mentioned, with our abdominal draw-in maneuver, followed by some pelvic floor cues. After that, we want to go through an aerobic warm-up. The reason we suggest an aerobic warm-up is because the amount of blood in their body is going to double over pregnancy. We want to make sure there is enough blood flow to the baby and the mum safely. This is also a perfect time to include posterior strength training exercises if you're not doing it already with them. So this is to prepare your client appropriately for birth and motherhood. So you're looking at things like lat pull downs, good mornings, deadlifts. And again, just same as the warm-up there, you want to just make sure that the cool down is a little bit longer maybe than you do previously. Again, just making sure that blood flow is safe to both mum and baby. This is such an exciting time for you and your client. Okay, so this is just a bit of an example. Serena Williams won the Australian Open in 2017 and she was 8 weeks pregnant. So really have fun with this time, okay? If they're feeling a bit off, that's fine. But you're the one, you're their supporter to support them, get them back into it and get the best out of them.